has gotten off to a great start. So yeah, let's pull the analysis board and back up the variations. Our team behind the scenes was being super helpful, running it on an even deeper engine. We already kind of knew that most of the crazy prep, but no one knew that those were the lines Bobby had prepared. So let's take a look.
Oh, mama, are you all right?
The position that Fabi was talking about. Here there were safer options. White's just taking the pawn on d5, black could, for example. Fabi wants to play the most ambitious move. Bishop takes f1. We will ignore that question mark. I will just remove it temporarily because clearly it was very, very deep preparation analyzing with the most advanced computers. And the idea is to stop White from castling. White actually took back the king. We'll talk about this in a minute, but the most ambitious reply from Hikaru as Fabi mentioned, 6 winning material because there's now a hit on the black rook. Either you guard this rook and lose your bishop next turn, White would merge 2 pawns up, or play what Fabi suggested, bishop back to c4, black's a piece up, so White fall in, capture the rook on a8. Fabiano said, okay, the path of the queen's return is now blocked with knight to e5. E4 and pawn to a6, I believe.
Astonishing.
We see the evaluation of our lives, but again, this is not the deepest of computers already. It's starting to drop this down. And there we go. The computer trying to come to terms with what is an incredible prep, let's face it. The idea is in. Yes, look at that. The computer is doing something you take the knight. As Fabi said, White is a whole rook up, but the White queen is totally trapped. I'm not sure the exact way to catch her. Maybe we just take this pawn and say, okay, the queen's not coming out long term. White just castles, for example. At some point, queen c8, knight c6 will catch her in the corner. No way out.
Absolutely insane preparation, giving up a full rook to then trap the white queen. And it's not an immediate trapping the white queen, it is quite a few moves for which White would be holding on to the extra material, but there is no way out for that queen. And Fabi wasn't even sure if he's 100% remembering his preparation. But it wasn't very recent. So imagine going for this, not being 100% sure that this is the moment where he was supposed to give up a full rook.
But this is incredible stuff, and this is what Fabi and Caruana built his reputation on, was preparation like this. And you don't see it all the time, but who doesn't love seeing a position initially evaluated as winning for White that comes all the way down and shows you that we've got that bar going? And, you know, it's right 99.99% of the time at the level we need it to be, a blunder check that kind of guides the entertainment, the edutainment of the show, educationally entertaining. But then you see moments like that and you go, wow, these guys are playing a different game at times at home with the kind of preparation they have. Fabi and Caruana, everyone remembers the infamous 7-0 at the Sinfield Cup. So many games won that were deep prep. This guy has been feared among his peers in terms of just how far the rabbit hole goes for so long, and he got to get that So, by the way, we've got another confession. We're only going to wait for the break because we've got Hikaru Nakamura, his opponent. Let's get Hikaru's thoughts. Maybe he breaks down what he thought with taking on e6 now. Was Hikaru also aware of this line, or was he just trying to avoid it? I want to find out.
Just want to close the door on me. What did I do?
Aw,
Zoe.
6 of Norway chess. So today a little bit more exciting. I think with all the decisive results, everybody's trying a little bit harder. Now, Fabiano kind of surprised me in the opening. He played a line that I haven't really looked at in a little bit. This whole bishop a6 line with this d5. Now, I vaguely recall having looked at this from a slightly different move order. And what I seem to remember is that this bishop takes f1. I think it's supposed to be dubious.
Hey, you're calling 911.
I'm not completely insane or out of my mind. But the problem is, without actually knowing exactly what the correct moves are, it's very, very hard to go for this. So I decided to play king takes. I'm expecting him to take with the pawn on d5 and I'll play e4. And unfortunately, for fans out there, I think it's very likely that this game is going to be a draw pretty quickly, unfortunately. I don't really like my position, and it's one of those situations where I think Fabi is really trying hard to complicate it because he wants to win the game and get back and go on to the first place. So I'm trying to play something more on the boring side, especially after the surprising ways. Go for a different capture, but more time than staying, I think the only capture is because now he takes f4, a4, bishop e3. force in that end game. So I think I'm okay here. I'm not thrilled with it, of course, but you know, it's kind of how life goes. Sometimes you can't get everything you want. So that's just it for my game. Magnus' game is already very, very complicated, hard to judge what's going on exactly.
Glenn
I
sucks
really
at
like
diving.
Magnus' approach. He's played the sort of Benoni with the white pieces, and it just looks very, very aggressive, so we'll see what happens there. Ollie Reza is playing Prague. Prague went for one of these slightly dubious lines. It's E3, B5, and the queen gambit accepted. Ollie Reza has a nice big center with the pawns on D4 and E4, the big white center as we call it in internet lingo. So I like Feruj's position, but Prague is also, I think, someone who, based on the candidates, will try very hard to go for big messes now. He tries to be very creative. He's in a position to do it because he is trying to play for first place. So it feels like Prague's trying to channel his inner Arjun, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. Because I think Magnus did some interview recently where he's talking about the Indian players, and he said something like Arjun's a madman who tries to kill you every time, and I'm getting the sense that Prague is trying to incorporate that a little bit more rather than being super pragmatic, pun intended. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, I think all the games could be exciting. I think my game is probably at least exciting right now, but it's a decent start at least. I would say today there's potential, to use another term from one of my other side gigs, which is real estate. Potential is a word that you use a lot in that industry. So it's something where I would say there's a lot of potential today for exciting games from the get-go. So we'll just have to wait and see how the games continue, but so far, it is what it is. See you guys.
Pragmatic from Prague. There. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't just say this. He could probably draw the game while
This is
streaming
disaster
on the
happening.
booth. So maybe we can hook that up. I don't know. Make our job a little easier. But David, your thoughts on his just very open views that he probably plans to steer this game toward a draw, which, lucky for us, it means we have Armageddon.
Yeah, it's refreshing, his honesty, because I'm not overly impressed by White's play. It's clear that Hikaru is just playing for a draw at this point, and most likely he will achieve it, but nice to see players admit that, rather than say, okay, I made a mistake, and I'm still trying. Also, what was fascinating for me was that he barely calculated that variation that Fabiano mentioned. He was like, okay, this is meant to be dubious, but in practical terms, it's not a rational decision, it's not a practical decision. I'm just going to steer clear. Anna, it feels like, again, Hikaru in top form, and still feeling confident despite maybe being out ahead.
Yeah, he did admit that the opening choice of Fabi surprised him, and that's the reason why he didn't go for D6, E6, 7 He thought that that's why this whole line is dubious, but that he cannot go for it and go against Fabi's preparation. I think he made the right call on that. You don't go against Fabiano's preparation in a crazy sharp line when you are not prepared yourself to be in that position. So very pragmatic decisions by Hikaru, even if it's not what he was hoping for going into the game. I'm sure he was ambitious having the white pieces, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you're unprepared and you need to go with something more quiet, something
Just
more
go,
peaceful.
do it.
And the Armageddon will still be fireworks and will be fireworks, I think.
Agreed, and you just mentioned the only point I was going to add, which is either way we got Armageddon. And
Nice shirt, Greg. We can talk about your shirt as well.
my shirt.
I only just noticed. I didn't see the logo.
Yeah, that's some shirt there.
Where can we get it?
You can't. This is only
No
for me.
massage, no shirt.
No, you don't. You can't get one. I'm not gonna lie, and we're not making these available either. I would say sue me, but that's probably not a good idea in this world, so don't do that. Let's move on. Back to the bird's eye view. We've got Queen E2 on the blue board. That was 3 rhymes in a row.
Wow.
Bird's eye view, Queen E2 on the blue. Maybe we should go to there. It is Magnus Carlsen. I don't know.
Almost there. You're
unless
so
we want to drive
close.
this thing in a different direction.
Almost
I'm
there. Yes.
curious.
Oh, wait.
I was just checking the clocks. Okay, looks like he moved a little while ago, so it has been Dingley Ren now thinking for quite a bit. Stay away from that. Chess.com lawyers are calling.
I was actually going to mention the move Queen E2 earlier as the kind of lazy move that I would play just to slowly improve a piece, keep all of White's options open, but Interesting that Magnus spent, what was it, around 20 minutes and then played the second middle move. Ding now only tanked for 20 minutes himself. Yeah, it's one of those positions. I think we touched on it earlier. It's so flexible for both sides, kind of highly ambitious for both sides as well, and it's unclear exactly what the plans are for Ding. I would be surprised if it's a move like bishop to d7 with c7, just because, as Danny mentioned earlier, c6 is slightly loose. You defend that piece, and then you can start to break out on the queen side with moves like b5. But yeah, it's a matter of taste here, and Ding doesn't look too happy with this position right now.
It's a non-committal move with queen e2, but I think the idea is he wants to protect e4 so that the knight on d2 can go to f3, and then he doesn't have to worry about h6. The knight would go to e4, and on a trade, you'd have to take with the pawn, which maybe isn't ideal. And the reason I'm anticipating that is because I think what's ideal if you do give like 2 moves here, not the cheating 2 moves where you play like knight takes e6 and knight takes queen. I think the 2 moves are knight f3, knight e5. Right? I think if you can establish the knight on e5 quickly, that exchange is likely good for white. Kicking the knight from f6 will accelerate the attack. So I think queen e2 was flexible by design, but also preparing this idea for Magnus. It's just me making a guess of what the likely plan is to come. But Ding Liren spending some time here, wisely so, I would bet. The pressure to his king side will be very real here soon.
What does he need to do, David? How do you see when White's plan is so clear, as Danny said, knight f3, knight e5? Definitely will be coming unless you do something as black.
Glenn sucks at diving.
It's difficult. I wish I knew. I'm not a huge kind of fan of playing against the Benoni. I'm not brave enough to play with it. I'm not brave enough to play against it. It's one of those types of openings where it's just pure dynamism across the board to both flanks. I'm still other flank. It feels like that's should be playing on. Maybe if you want to release the tension, you can play the move h6 immediately after the white knight what it's doing, and if it retreats to e4, just try to trade off, simplify the equation. But White's initiative there.
You don't like attacking dynamism. Just what happened? All about the grind. As a kid, you talk about old man chess. You're all about the grind. What happened to you?
Until I was like 23, I thought every game had to end in checkmate. It was like attack, both sides with white, black, I'd sacrifice everything. And then I woke up one morning and decided it's all about
and then
the
you
endgame.
woke up and said, I'm going to become a better chess player than you, Danny, and I stopped playing every game for an attack. So that's what happened to you. Okay, noted. I get it. No, kidding. But, yeah, it is going to be scary.
It'll be scary for Ding. Knight e4.
Taking it!
Knight f3.
Oh, there you go.
Watch out for those g4, g5 later. Yeah, I think it's a good moment, as you mentioned.
Let me
Ponder for another few minutes and then launch a plan. Ideally, a way to react against what's coming next from White. Slow pace for now, but this game's going to explode at some point.
Yeah. Let's wait for that point and back up and let Anna Rudolph choose her favorite color and position on the screen.
My favorite color. Which games have we analyzed recently, so those are not my favorite colors. It's not my favorite color, and I would really like to go to that board, but we probably should address what's going on in the game with latency and anonymity, because we haven't touched on that opening. It's not the most complex or dynamic or exciting of the games, but maybe it would be one of those that is having sort of Armageddon, like the Karu's game. So if we could just evaluate what happened in the last few moves and who is happier here.
Yeah, let's do just that. Just to jump in, there have been some exchanges in the last few turns. Let's do a quick rewind. We only covered the fact that this was a symmetrical English opening. It did actually transpose to what looks like a Tarash with the back pawn skeleton of this isolated pawn, maybe feeling a bit uncomfortable about it here. Black defended it first of all, but now gave White an isolated pawn of her own. Knight takes knight, breaking the tension, and bishop takes c3. as Anna mentioned, it does seem to me that she wants to solve her problems here. Anna moves quick by force. And either white will now take back the pawn, but structure we actually put in a similar position. Back to pawn. Potential weakness long term. Or white will take back with her bishop. Oh, she actually did take back with the pawn there. I was going to say bishop takes. I might have run into this is slightly annoying because either the bishop will capture on c3 or you win a pawn at the cost of your beautiful light squared bishop. And black here will be very happy to plant a bishop looking down at the light squares on the king side. So she's made a really committal decision here, Lei Ting-Jie.
Very committal, and I think the same idea that you're showing, David, should also be fine here if you sacrifice the pawn by playing 94, because it does get rid of the g2 bishop if white wants to win the pawn. So you either have to boost up a knight in the middle of the board, or you give up your best piece, the fianchetto g2 bishop, win a pawn, but by doing so, black will play bishop e6 and bishop d5. It's an opposite correlation. I normally don't sacrifice pawns.
I hope we see this. I have a feeling we might. And it kind of makes me understand why Lei Ting-Jie took with the pawn, because perhaps if you knew this was inevitable, that black was going to play 94 and we were going to get this, maybe there's something we'll get someone going to c4 at some point where the whole point is you might have a better chance of dislodging that light squared bishop square in this structure than you would have in the other structure, despite the fact that it did also kind of make your opponent weaker. So, most likely result opposite code bishops, not a ton of pieces on the board, probably a draw, but it might be fun if we actually get something like this on the board and we get an attack on the light square. You never know, right? Magic things can happen here when you lack a bishop around the king.
Now busted her butt.
She's feeling confident. We mentioned 2 classical wins in a row. That was an interesting stat. She did win 21 classical games.
Oh, are you okay?
Dates and she's a player reborn.
Why are you still here? Go away.
Display.
Joby made that point at the top. She said it was a bit of a tale of 2 tournaments right now for Anna Muzychuk, and she's finding her rhythm, and a good call-out. I agree.
I think she'll go for 94. I agree with you that she's ambitious. She has found her form after 21 games going winless and then not having a good candidate tournament, which obviously for her and for some of the other competitors here is one of the biggest events they are preparing for. They want to be the champion, the world champion. And so not a good tournament for Anna in Canada, but here I think she's got a really good chance. And 94, I think it's a prediction. She's going to play it.
Maybe I'm getting too deep here, but I wonder, is there some idea where you don't take e4 and that's the other point of b takes c3, that if 94 like bishop e4, I don't know if it works tactically, but the whole point is to try to undermine the protection of the knight and laugh in the, oh, look at that, computer thinks I'm all right. Nice. What I do there, so I was just trying to unpack why undermining the knight is the other option. We might still get a position that's roughly equal for both sides, but speaking of roughly equal for both sides, we haven't actually completed our realm level process. Yeah, there's one game we haven't touched on, and let's do it right now. It is the battle between Oliver and Pragnanda Rameshbabu. Prag was leading the tournament after a few rounds. If you missed it, where were you? 30 rounds. We needed you, and you weren't here. Sorry, that were no, too far. But you're here now, and that's what matters. And we got to take a look right now at Perugia versus Prague. Let's do it. Maybe Prague in the conventional move. And what do you think?
I hope he is. We would love to hear his thoughts. And he even had a moment a few rounds ago where he discovered a line in his calculation. It hit him in the professional booth. So it actually was this moment of realization and enlightenment that a line that Hikaru Nakamura in fact wasn't okay, and he noticed it as he was talking about it in the confessional. We discussed this already, like how good it seems to be that you can speak your mind, you can express your thoughts in words, and we saw how it actually is like sometimes the way for them to discover something even deeper than what they thought of the line or calculation, the analysis they had in mind.
Yeah, it's really nice to see players like Prag go into the confessional, even if he was struggling like he was the other day against Hikaru. This position, however, I don't think we'll go from the start. It will start the game life as a Queen's Gambit accepted. This current position, there's a tactic in the air, and I wonder whether Alireza is going to go for it. A lot of calculation might be required. Loose piece of football, they say loose piece of football, and if you start with the move Queen to C2, you might well just walk into a knight jump. I'm expecting the move knight to B4 here, attacking the white queen and attacking the white bishop. You can win a pawn temporarily, but you better be careful that your bishop doesn't get trapped here. I wonder whether the move G6 will be played. This is even stronger, but here white would be forced to sacrifice his bishop for some pawns, so this needs to be evaluated. I was going to say, if you do flip the move order in this game position, this, but tactics often work in move orders, one often stronger than the other. King H7, I'm wondering about as well. With a check, luring the king out, and now Queen C2 check, hits the king, hits the knight, wins a pawn, and this would be the position Alireza has to evaluate.
But it's still wild, even if you get the red, you win the pawn, but who's better here? Right?
Yeah.
Black is the bishop pair.
It's a beautiful knight on D5 as well.
Yeah. It's just like that. Pawns on D4 and E5 are stuck where they stand by the knight on D5, and that H pawn is irrelevant until the end of the game. Like if you get to the end of the game, like maybe there's some extra way to use it, but the bishop pair and the pawn, we love seeing the dynamic compensation there, and even the computer agrees. But it would be wild. Magnus Carlsen has made his first trip to the confessional booth. We're going to have that at the break. So a good reminder to throw us your prime if you've got it on Twitch. We do appreciate your support. Makes all these events happen. If you're a sub, then you don't got to do anything. Good reminder. Love that image we just threw together real quick of all the different benefits. A lot of people don't know that you can get an ad-free experience on chess.com. Anna, I would bet you didn't even know that long ago. All you have to do is connect your Twitch account, whether you're a subscriber to our chess channel, the Chess24 channel, any channel, and you get ad-free on chess.com. All you got to do is connect it. So, all right, we're going to have a Magnus confessional break. Now's your worthy opportunity to do that. So he doesn't go for that pawn stack. Why should he doesn't do that?
Yeah, looks like a good practical decision. Still attacking chances in the future for Alireza Firouzja. Prag now mulling things over in what is a really intense.
Indeed. Well, we are actually going to back this thing up and take a quick break. Like we said, we've got Magnus Carlsen coming at you in just a few moments, so don't go anywhere. We've got so much more action ahead. Round 6 is just getting underway. 2024 Norway Chess and Norway Chess Women. We are halfway through, and the players have switched colors. So much in store. We'll be right back in just a moment.
I think an expression that's been used quite a lot in chess is that it's a good Benoni, but it's still a Benoni. That's kind of how I feel right now. I feel like I've gotten a pretty good version of everything, and it feels like there are a lot of tempting moves, but I'm not quite sure I'm actually like close to being better still. But you know, he's thinking a bit, so that's promising. But apart from that, I'm not so sure. But we got ourselves a double-edged position. That's really good.
Oh boy.
Detention. How do you spell Poniachi? Make sure you get everything. Look how he's struggling. Okay, spelling bee. You can start first.
So it's NEPOMNICHTCHY.
Isn't there no A after I? Poniachi.
Poniachi.
Yeah, but I wrote this A.
But you didn't say it.
Okay, so I just said it wrong. Just because I cannot speak, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
First he was telling us not to trust his writing, then is not to trust his talking.
I just...
No, you have to do like in the spelling bee. Nepomniachtchi. N-E-P-O. Nepomniachtchi. Yes!
Okay, we'll show perhaps. Never in doubt, never in doubt. October the 1st, the new James Bond movie is released. No Time to Die. How many other James Bond movies have the word die or die?
Oh my gosh! Right by your foot, a snake! There's a snake right by your
Bonus point.
Kidding.
Okay, so we're not zero then.
Oh, wow. So it's Die Another Day, It's Live and Let Die, and what's the last one?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
But there was 2 in a row, basically.
What is the world's oldest currency?
Some kind of krona, whatever.
Magnus.
Salt.
I don't have one.
Because that's where salary comes from, because they used to give you your salary in salt. So that is the first.
You have a currency, yeah?
As many countries as possible
Okay, go.
consist of 4 letters.
Seesaw, that seems...
Oh, I had 7, but I'm sure there are lots more.
There's 11.
Wow. I have Peru, Fiji, Togo, Mali, Iran, Iraq, Chad.
And Christian. How many knights can you place on a chessboard so that no knight can capture another knight?
This guy is like, this is the slowest by heart, he just like...
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to do like mathematical solution to this, because 64 squares, like... I'm just guessing like half the squares, but I have no idea. 32.
32. The answer is 32.
I guessed it!
But how can you...
If you put them all on the same color complex.
Yeah, like that. All in the same colors. Oh, that's so easy. That's obvious.
Chess stuff, I'm terrible.
Which chess players became
Yeah.
world champion?
You have to like run. Oh god.
in a match?
Which, or are there...
Which player or players
player or players?
without beating the previous?
The previous. There's a trick in there.
There's always a trick.
Okay, so the way I understand the questions, it should be Botvinnik, Karpov, Alekhine, Kasparov, Stanit, Lasker. You're saying became world champion. But these people became world champion several times.
No, but that was not the thing, I think.
This is open to interpretation.
2 hours later.
So it should not be